Welcome to my YouTube channel, your trusted source for breaking news and insightful analysis. I'm Harry, and in the next few minutes, we'll bring you up to speed on the latest chapters about Jane's life. So sit back, relax, and let's dive into today's headlines.
Chapter 7. Why celebrate? My failures? The fact that I'm without a pack and homeless? That I'm raising a baby alone because the father refuses to acknowledge he impregnated a 19-year-old? Because he can't accept me as his mate? Shift. Please, Jane. I can't bear to see you suffer in the rain. Please, my mother pleads through the window, taking a deep breath. You can do this, Jane, I whisper to myself. It's not how I envision shifting, but I need to gather my courage and do what's necessary. I convince myself it doesn't matter. Nobody would be celebrating for me anyway, not anymore. I peel off my saturated shirt, hanging it over a railing along the far wall before discarding the pajama pants. It's late at night, so I'm fairly certain no one will notice me. Even if they did, they wouldn't pay any attention to the alpha's disgraced daughter. My mother calls me out on the window, and I glance inside. My son is nestled in her arms, drinking his bottle, his gaze fixed on her, cozy and content. With each sip, his eyelids droop heavier. Thank you, I whisper to her. She responds with a sad smile, nodding gently. I'm here for you. You don't have to face your first shift alone, my mother assures me, and I nod in gratitude. Most others, when they experience their first shift, do so surrounded by family, amid jubilation. But for me, I'm shifting out of necessity to ward off the cold. While everyone else shifts in celebration, I'm transitioning to stay warm. Funny how life works out sometimes, isn't it? I've felt the urge to shift for months now. But being pregnant, I couldn't risk harming my unborn child by shifting. And once he was born, I lacked anyone to care for him while I shifted. This is my only opportunity. Suppressing all emotion, I lower myself to the ground, extending my fingers and curling my toes beneath me until I'm on the balls of my feet. My neck cracks first, my facial features contorting and reshaping. Everything stretches and shifts, accompanied by the sharp snap of bones. It's excruciating. I anticipated the pain. Apparently, the first shift always hurts, but I never imagined it would be like this. Don't stress yourself, focus on visualizing your wolf, my mother coaches from behind the glass window. I dread the sight of my wolf form. Alphas are supposed to be formidable, but I've been stripped of my title and my pack. I failed to shift on my 18th birthday as I should have, and these factors diminish a wolf's strength. It's unlikely my wolf will resemble what it should have been. I inhale deeply, trying to picture my future appearance and block out the agony. Will I bear the sandy hue of my mother or the ebony shade of my father? This wasn't how it was supposed to be. It wasn't meant to unfold like this. Dad always assured me he and Mom would be there to support me through it. A scream rips from my throat, morphing instantly into a howl as the transformation begins. Take a deep breath and channel everything into it. Push for the shift. Don't wait, she urges. Following my mother's advice, I push with all my might, bypassing the usual pain of transformation. Suddenly, my hands morph into paws, my skin is cloaked in dense fur, and my facial structure elongates. As I run my tongue over my teeth, I can feel the sharpness of my canines. Gazing down at my paws and tail, I try to discern my appearance. In the dim moonlight, I seem to have an unusual off-white hue, almost tinged with blue. Using the glass to get a clearer view of myself, I realize I'm pure white, my fur a consistent shade, but thin and small, so diminutive that I resemble an omega as I scrutinize myself. Looking up at my mother through the window, holding my son, her hand covering her mouth in shock, it's evident she's taken aback by my size, the size of an outcast. I'll be vulnerable prey for anything that decides to hunt me. And my wolf will only diminish further in size and strength the longer I remain without my mate. My father strides over, his expression stormy with disappointment as he peers through the window. He's visibly let down. I'm scarcely larger than a German shepherd, embarrassingly small. Even most rogues would dwarf me in significance. Is this my punishment for being stripped of everything? Is this all that remains of me? My father yanks the curtain shut as though he can't bear to look at me any longer, as though he's disgusted, and truthfully, I feel the same way. I didn't realize it was possible to feel any more shame. Feeling utterly mortified by my own weakness, I press my nose against the glass just as a crack of thunder rumbles through the sky, startling my son awake. As I hear my father retreat, my mother gently pulls the curtain aside, settling onto the couch so I can see my son. I watch him through the glass, wishing desperately that I could comfort him, but understanding that it's for the best this way. He's safe, snug, and, most importantly, dry. My mother soothes him back to sleep and arranges a makeshift bassinet on the couch. Eventually, exhaustion claims me too, and I drift off, my head resting on the brick ledge beneath the window. As the sun begins to rise, I swiftly shift back, hurriedly donning my drenched clothes and painstakingly wringing them out, attempting to remove as much water as possible. Just as I pull on the last of the sodden garments, the front door creaks open and my father emerges from the house. I gaze up at him from my spot on the ground near the window where I had been crouched. He doesn't spare me a glance, merely tossing me a wad of cash secured with a rubber band. "I want you gone before I return. Never come back, Jane," he states coldly before striding towards his car, not once meeting my eyes. I reach out, seizing the bundle of cash, watching him depart. Despite the crushing ache in my heart, he won't even acknowledge me. I still love the man. He's my father, and being discarded like refuse stings, it stings profoundly, driving home the realization that I am nothing but worthless to everyone. The door swings open, and my mother cautiously peeks out to ensure he's gone before beckoning me inside. Amanda rushes out with a backpack and some dry clothes. She hands me a towel, and I briskly dry myself off before slipping into the jeans, shirt, and hoodie she's brought for me. "Here, take these," she says, passing me a pair of her shoes. I slide on the socks before slipping my feet into the shoes. My mother holds onto my son as if reluctant to release him. "I've arranged for a grab to pick you up," my mother informs me, while Amanda hands over a bag. Some clothes, toiletries, feminine products, girly stuff. I've also included all the cash from my safe, my sister adds, and I swallow hard. "Amanda, I can't accept this," I protest. "You might as well. I can't pursue university now anyway. Dad's insisting I take over the pack next year." A wave of guilt washes over me. Not only have I messed up my own life, but I've also disrupted my sister's plans. Now she's being thrust into the role of alpha. Amanda had dreams of attending college and studying some science field while I was still supposed to lead. She's incredibly bright, and I've shattered her aspirations by becoming pregnant. However, Amanda doesn't appear upset. She seems to have accepted it. "Take it. My iPhone is in there too, along with the charger and headset. I'll ensure to add minutes every month so we can stay in touch," Amanda insists, and my mother agrees. "He doesn't need to know. What he's unaware of won't harm him," my mother reassures me. "So, you'll come to visit us?" I ask hopefully. Her expression falters. "No, you know I can't, but you can send us photos. You never mentioned his name," my mother says. "Valentine," I reply. They exchange puzzled glances, but I thought it complimented his father's name. Though now, I'm not so hopeful he'll ever meet the man. "Exactly, you can send us pictures of Valentine, and we can video chat. It'll be just like being there," my mother suggests, but it won't be. It won't have the same intimacy, the physical presence. I chew on my lip, nodding silently. That's as good as it's going to get. I'm alone. Not even my mother is willing to defy my father for her own daughter. I shouldn't have expected her to. It's nearly impossible for someone to go against their mate. I never realized how much I yearned for human touch until I embraced my mother and sister, and now I feel its absence keenly, except for my son's touch. I long for contact, any form of interaction, conversation with someone who can respond. "Are you okay, Jane?" Amanda inquires, and I nod, spotting the cab waiting outside. I gather my son, my sister's packed bag, and the diaper bag. "I won't see you again," I announce, letting the weight of those words settle in. I'm not welcome back here, and they're too afraid to come visit me. This is goodbye. They promise to call, but we all know it'll likely be only texts, if they can manage that without my father noticing. Amanda embraces me tightly before releasing me, and my mother cups my face in her hands, her eyes brimming with tears. You can do this. You'll be all right, she reassures me, her expression etched with concern. She understands that with my diminutive wolf, I'll suffer if anyone threatens us. She knows I won't be able to defend myself. If they knew my mate had also cast me aside, they'd realize I'm as good as dead. Without my mate, I'll gradually deteriorate until there's nothing left. I won't be able to shift, and I'll practically be human. Once that happens, it's essentially the end for me. Are you telling yourself that, or me? I inquire. Her brow furrows. She knows there's nothing out there for me and my son. We're rogues, and nothing positive ever befalls rogues. We merely eke out an existence among the packs, surviving day by day, hoping we don't become prey for larger predators because, ultimately, no pack would intervene for a rogue, even one with a child.
Thank you, Gert. For more latest chapters, please don't forget to hit the notification bell. Thank you. Good job.